Hello there. Today is law of cosines. And what law of cosines is today and law of sines is tomorrow. And what this allows us to do is find the missing pieces of a triangle that's not a right triangle. So any triangle for that matter. So let's start with the generic version. I'll give you the formulas and then I'll show you how to apply it. So angle ABC, across from angle A we'll call little a. Across from angle B we'll call little b, and across from angle C we'll call little c. Now, the first formula says a squared equals b squared plus c squared minus 2 times bc times the cosine of a. All right, the cosine of angle A. All right. Now, there's two more formulas. Watch. The second one is b squared equals a squared plus c squared minus 2ac times the cosine of angle B. And I bet you can't guess what the third one is. C squared equals a squared plus b squared minus 2ab times the cosine of c. So, although I say you have to memorize 3 formulas, you really only have to know one, and then depending on which one, that's how you apply it. Alright, now, the law of cosine only refers to triangles that are in the form of side angle side and side side side. Alright, side angle side and side side side. So, let's say I'm given C angle B and side A. That would be a side angle side relationship. We would use the law of cosines. Or side 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 if we're given all 3 sides. All right, so if we're given C, A, and B, then we can also apply the law of cosines. However, the information given to you has to be in that order. All right, so we always have to double check these 2 things first before we can apply our 3 formulas. All right, so before we get started, I want to talk about something. Let's talk about degrees and minutes. All right, so if I say 76 degrees and 46 minutes, all right, that sign means degrees, this little slash means minutes. We combine degrees and minutes for a lot of reasons. Think of if you've ever looked at a map, longitude and latitude, right? You say we went 46 degrees and 2 minutes. All right, so another one is think of a clock. A clock is 360, a full degree, full 360 degrees, and there's minutes in between. So it's a combination that occurs often. And we're actually going to utilize it to simplify kind of our trig answers. And we're going to let the calculator do the thinking for us, but basically 60 minutes equals 1 degree. 60 seconds, all right, is 1 minute. So it would be like this. All right, those two are equivalent statements. So it's something that we should be fairly familiar with. But in your calculator, this is how we're going to utilize it. Let's say we had the tangent of 86. So tangent of 86. We've all done trig before. And we get 14.300066. And normally when we do trig, we always have these decimals here. So we use degree and minutes to simplify it. So how we do it is you go second apps. So second to your angle menu, and then option number 4 is DMS. Option number 4 is DMS. And what that does is it converts your answer to degrees, minutes, and seconds. So 14.3 is 14 degrees, 18 minutes, and 2.399 seconds. So it's broken it down. It's simplified. It's pulled out the whole amount of degrees, how many minutes, and then averaged or approximated the seconds, sorry. So we're going to write this as 14 degrees, 18 minutes. We're going to allow the 2 to make it stay. If that 2 is larger than 5, then we would round up. So that's how we're going to express our answers. 14 degrees, 18 minutes, rounded to the nearest minute. All right, so just a calculator skill we're going to need to know. So let's look at our first example. We're going to go ABC. And I'm going to tell you this side is 22, this angle is 27 degrees, and this side is 14. So the first thing you need to decide, is it a side angle side or side side side? Because if it is, we can apply the law of cosines. If it's not, we do something else, but we'll learn that tomorrow. So this is a side angle, side triangle. Side angle, side. That's what's given to us. All right, now we have to decide, what do we want to find first? Well, let's find side B. So because we're finding side B, we're going to use the second formula here. All right, and we're going to match up our pieces and set it up. So I have B squared is equal to C squared. Now let's go to A squared plus C squared minus 2 times A times C times the cosine of my angle, which is 27. And now you're just going to put all that in your calculator. 14 squared plus 22 squared minus 2 times 4. So you're going to do each piece, put it in your calculator, and we should get B squared equals, let's do it, 14 squared plus 22 squared minus, I'm going to do parentheses, all right, 2 times 22 times 14 times the cosine of 27, then I'm going to double parentheses. All right, I get 131 point dot 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 dot, but we need to square root both sides, so I'm going to go second square root of my answer, and I get 11.45 or 11.5. So I now know this is 11.5. All right. So really, when you do this in your calculator, think of it like this, like group as 2 parts. Do those 2 together and then subtract all this noise. Okay. So now let's go find the rest of the pieces. Now we need angle A or C. All right. Let's find angle A. All right, so to find angle A, we need to use this first one, all right, because that's the piece we're looking for right there, angle A. So let's match up our pieces and go. 14 squared equals 22 squared plus 11.5 squared, now that we know the other side, minus 2 times 22 times 11.5 times the cosine of angle A. Again, we're going to think of it as kind of these 2 parts and these 2 parts. All right, so 14 squared is 196. 22 squared plus 11.5 squared, 616.25. Minus, now this is where it gets a little interesting. I would do 2 times 22 times 11.5, which gives me 506 cosine of A. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to subtract 616.25 and divide by negative 506. Okay, so we got to get the cosine of A by itself. So I have 196 minus 616.25 equals, and I get negative 420.25 equals negative 506 times the cosine of A. So I'm going to have to divide by negative 506 and then do the inverse cosine to get this by itself, similar to what we did yesterday. So I have that answer divided by negative 506. So I got that crazy decimal. So I have the cosine of A is equal to that crazy decimal. So I'm going to inverse cosine this number, and then I'll have my value for A. So I'm going to go second inverse cosine of this answer. So second negative, put my answer in there. And I get 33.84640963. But I want that in degrees and minutes. So we now have to go into option 4, hit enter. And so I have 33 degrees and then 47.84 pushes that 50 up to 51. All right, the cutoff is really 30, right? Because it's 60 seconds equal a minute. So if it's over 30, it's going to push that up 1 minute. So 33 degrees and 51 seconds. So angle A equals 33 degrees and 51 seconds. Now to find angle C is easy, right? Because we have 180 minus all that. So we have 180 minus 27 minus 33 degrees and 51 minutes. So angle C would then be 119 degrees and 9 minutes. All right. So one way to think about that is, you're probably wondering how I got that. Well, we had 180, and we're going to subtract, well, 27 and 33, 51, right? 27 and 33, 51 gives me 60 degrees and 51 minutes. Well, we got to subtract. We can't do that, so I need to borrow. So I'm going to borrow a minute, 179, and put 60 here. And now subtract. 60 minus 51 is 9. 179 minus 60 is 119. All right, so that's how I arrived at that solution. All right, not so bad. A lot of new stuff, a lot of calculator work. I understand how it can be a little overwhelming, but the next 2 or 3 days we're still going to be focusing on this, and there's more that goes along with it, but it's a very similar process. So let's try another one. And this one, let's go ABC, 12, 13, 9. So first we got to identify side, 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 or side, angle, side. This one we're given all 3 sides, so side, side, side. So let's just start with angle C. Let's start with. Let's find this one. All right. So I have C squared equals A squared plus B squared, all right, minus 2 times 13 times 9 times the cosine of angle C. All right, so I got 144 equals 250 minus 234 times the cosine of C. All right, so now take away 250. So 144 minus 250, give me negative 106 equals negative 234 times the cosine of angle C. So we're going to divide by negative 234, then inverse cosine. So divide by negative 234, inverse cosine, your answer, second negative, and then convert it to degrees and minutes. So I go second angle, option 4, and I get 63 degrees and 4 minutes, because that 51 is going to push it up. 63 degrees and 4 minutes equals angle C. Now, side, side, side is a little different than side, angle, side. Remember with side, angle, side, we started by finding the one side, right? And then we found the angle. Well, this time we found the angle. Okay, so now we have to do this whole process again to find another angle, because all I know is C. So let's find, I don't know, angle B. All right, so now let's focus on angle B. So I have 9 squared equals 12 squared plus 13 squared minus 2 times 13 times 12 times the cosine of B. And every time you do these problems, they get a little easier. Now, remember, evaluate this one kind of with that as one solution. This is one, this is the other. And then at the end, we need to subtract from 180, and don't forget to borrow to find our angle A. All right, what I want you to do is practice evaluating this one on your own. Do this on your own, bring an answer to class, and we'll walk through how to finish this problem, and I'll address any questions that you might have. All right, thanks. Have a good night.